Hi, Gwen Price, Sales Representative with Keystone Real Estate, and today I'm with Joy Wirta, and Joy is with Dragonfly Advisory Services, but I know there's some changes you've undertaken lately.
We have been extremely busy these last few months. Gwen, thank you so much for inviting me into your home, and I just love your new setup. It's just gorgeous. So thank you so much. Yeah, we've been working towards bringing conversations to death doulas. A death doula in our community is not a recognized term as of yet, but be sure that's going to be happening and it's going to be coming. When it came to light as the last couple of years for us was there was more out there than we even recognized.
What is a death doula?
A death doula is an individual that helps someone die well.
I knew there was birth doulas, but I had no idea there was a death doula.
And you're absolutely correct. When I heard of the term death doula, it's actually from a local physician here.
Oh,
I got a call about a year ago, and do you know any death doulas? And I pleaded ignorance. I was like, death doula? No, I don't, but let me do what I can. So I reached out and made a few conversations happen, and nobody had heard of any death doulas here in Northern Ontario. I reached out to May Kent, Northern Mamas.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, girl, help me out here. What is a death doula?
Yeah.
And she was really good to give me some information, some links to do some research.
Yeah.
She goes, because we have a working relationship, her and I, and we've built a comfortable relationship over the year. She's like, you're kind of already there. You help families die. So when I started looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, she's in the beginning of the spectrum. So the birth doulas are helping bring in loving hands this wonderful infant into this world. And the death doula in loving hands is helping this wonderful individual exit into whatever door they go.
Well, there's certainly a need for a different way of approaching death. Right?
I think it's almost a holistic approach to dying. It's a non-judgmental individual that helps the family and that individual champion choice. Know their choice. Not necessarily advocate, but support, guidance, make sure the programming that they require, the needs are met. If an individual wishes to die at home, or not even at home, a death doula can work in any environment. It can be in a hospice, it can be in a hospital, wherever they call home, long-term care.
Speaking of hospice, I mean, I could sort of understand that whole idea of not just the family being there with the individual, but a death doula, right?
I think the death doulas, as I started doing more research and seeing, like, there are so many, British Columbia is so ahead of us. Like, the death doula phenomenon, that movement is just huge that way. But as I was researching it and going into it, and then I'm like, oh, I love it. And I started reading Die-Wise, and it was just, oh my gosh, there are other options in dying, and there is a better way to die. There are always going to be those tragic moments in time that you'll never be able to come back from, and it will take time to heal. But then there are times when dying can be a complete circle.
In a gentler way.
And a transition that's easier for that individual, the one dying, and the family support in place. As I was starting the training and figuring out, okay, I'm going to do this. How are we going to have conversations of death doulas in the north, and how are we going to educate and bring it here? I had to do it myself, right?
There's nobody really doing that up here.
No, and then maybe there is someone, because realistically,
but not formally, there is
not to that hat that I've been. That someone's come to me and said, "Oh, I'm a death doula," because we've been doing a little research and trying and having conversations. But I'm positive there's many individuals out, because we've had many conversations with individuals that have had, their own journey and had palliative situations in their home and helped family die, that they are death doulas, just not carrying that title.
No, I wish we had known when my dad was passing, because he would have preferred to be at home for the whole way out.
And if it can be accomplished, then again, it's champion for choice, right? Let's make it an optional.
There's no right or wrong.
No, and as I was looking at what programming there was Ottawa had some, Toronto, British Columbia, and I started sending out emails and doing research and speaking to other doulas and fan doulas, and I was like, okay, we can do this here. We're geographically so unique and different that this really could enhance many lives in our community. As I fell in love with the home hospice program. I'm a huge supporter of hospice.
Yeah.
You know, I just believe what they do in our community is 110%.
Absolutely.
Nothing more than you could expect.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about the home hospice was they had a wonderful death doula program that just I felt drawn to. It was a personal choice.
Home Hospice, is that an association or what
So
is?
Home Hospice Association is a charity that helps provide care for anyone who needs it, regardless of age.
Never heard of that.
No, and again,
this
that's
is also new, isn't it?
And that's why I kind of was drawn to it. And then as I was doing the death doula programming and certification and the course, and you know, your essay, it's like going back to school. It was just like, wow, this is a lot of work. I started seeing that there was again more out there, and that's where the home hospice. For anyone who's been listening and watching what we've been doing in our movement with Dragonfly, I thought, wow, home hospice. To die at home and die well, this is really cool.
Yeah.
If we are fortunate enough to get to the brick and mortar here in our community, then awesome. But then I'm thinking there are geographically, we have Manitoulin Island, Elliott Lake. And so I started having conversations with those in the healthcare field. Mm-hmm. Those that are, I mean, their expertise is 10 times higher than mine, right? That work in this environment. And then I started saying, wow, they were like, ooh, this could help build a gap. Like help build that gap, help build that bridge.
Because there is palliative care for
we
someone
do.
dying at
we
home.
do.
But what you're talking about is a different thing. It's not the medical part of it. It's the...
Well, home hospice does also work. You still have your community care programming. You have your PSWs, your nursing. You're still going to have you still need those. But then you also have the death doulas that help build, you know, that working relationship. That work with, and a death doula can work from a moment of diagnosis all the way to aftercare, right? That full circle. I wish I had my Venn diagram because it would be beautiful. Because we have so if you look at two circles, you have your nurses, your hospitals, your doctors, gynecologists, like you have your whole list, right? Then you have your next circle where you have your funeral directors, your crematoriums, and you know, those that market and that end. And then in the middle of it, you have your grief counselors, your individuals that kind of fit on different parts of it, and then you have your death doulas. So what the difference is we start working with the family through the dying process all the way to death and after. I even had an opportunity to meet with Barb Phillips, a femme doula down in Coburg, who does home funerals.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that's a whole different story.
Well,
and
it's so important to have options, right? And this sounds like we're getting more options than we ever had before, because it's an important topic. Not everybody wants to go that sort of traditional route for dying or the funeral. It's what do we have as choices, really?
And the death doula is a non-medical individual, right? So you're more that holistic grassroots, going back to, okay, you want to die the way you lived. How can we build that legacy? What can we do to help you? How can we make it so that your wishes are met? Talking about, you know, your advanced care planning, the conversations, your decision makers, you know, all those things, making sure the care is needed. And also at the vigil, not being so panicked to call 911. And I look back to the loss of my mom, where we had nurse, we had wonderful services, community programming at that time with CCAC. But the thing was, we did call 911 and she went in the hospital. But that wasn't her choice.
No,
right?
absolutely,
And I always felt bad that we didn't let it, because it's 6 hours later. If I could have lost it 6 hours.
We were fortunate that my dad, his last week was at the hospice. But it would have been also a nice choice to have hospice at home. So I see where there's so many changes on the horizon and choices. Choice is always a good thing. So it's exciting times for you and for Sudbury in the north, I hope.
I think it's going to be wonderful conversations happening. We just starting our board retreat conversations that just taken place. We held a couple weeks ago a meeting at NORCAT for individuals that needed to have some questions answered, right? Because this is kind of new. So who are you? The one thing though the home hospice is not regulated the same. They're not part of the association with the Hospice Association because they also work with MAID, so medical assistance in dying.
Okay, right.
So that does play a different factor. And even that, talking to families in Toronto area and individuals that have the experience of working with MAID, that is a different journey for families also. But if you're going to come to me tomorrow and tell me that my days are numbered, I want my exit plan set. I don't want to suffer. I don't want my families to suffer. Again, it's not championing, it's giving choice. I'm not saying one's better than right.
That's right.
It's just giving a choice, non-judgmental. Because who am I to judge how someone else is walking that day?
No, exactly. How you come into the world and how you exit
is your choice.
There should be decisions that you have some control.
So we have quite a few women from different walks of life going to take their death doula training. So I'm really excited for them. I truly believe some of them are death doulas already. They just, it's just that it isn't
a formal title.
And the death doulas aren't regulated right now as birth doulas are. But I think that change will come now that that movement is happening and in conversations and more individuals. We just recently, you're my first actual conversation about, other than the private conversations about the death doulas, and someone got wind of it, and I got a call from Garson last week, and the husband has cancer and has at this point made a decision to stop treatment. It's been 5 years. So what does the death doula do? How can we promote it, and how can we help make that dying well?
So Joy, I know this is there's probably a lot of people that are going to hear this and want to know more information, and how can they contact you? Or how did they, how? In the months to come, Dragonfly Advisory Services will bridge with Home Hospice, so we'll become a blended family ourselves. So Dragonfly Aftercare will become part of a programming package. Right now, Dragonfly Advisory Services is still there. You can still reach us via our website, and myself, reach out to me, social media, all the same formats. Nothing's changed there. I'll put a link on our video to your website.
And as the home hospice conversations move forward here in Northern Ontario, we will be, building those conversations out to the community so that individuals know how to reach out. If someone is in need today, they can definitely touch base with Home Hospice Association, and they would definitely provide them whatever tools and resources they can.
I'll put a link on that.
And it's good for individuals to educate themselves also on what the value of home hospice, what it brings to the northern communities, and why we feel that this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for so many individuals dying. It's a non-judgmental. And then we'll have our death cafes and conversations, but we will have town halls. We will have some town halls coming up, information sessions for the public and the healthcare.
Again, information, knowledge helps you make the right decision.
And to know what your options are. But we've been very fortunate. As we were with Dragonfly, we came in and we flew, and with the death doula programming and knowing now that we are having more conversations of dying, and it's not a taboo topic.
No,
it's not. It should be a conversation that you can have and know that your wishes are being met, and having your legacy and your vigil, and that support.
Well, there couldn't be a better person to be involved with this. I've known you for a while now, and it's wonderful.
It's exciting.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Joy.
you so much, Gwen.